Johnny Z.
Oh, hello.
Came to the party. It's the place to be.
How are you?
Great.
Oh, so good.
Hump day.
Yes.
I was literally about to say it was Monday. That's where my
Wednesday
mind
feeling like a Monday?
My goodness. Cece's like, do not do that. Hey, listen, thank you all so much for joining us on this Wednesday on KARE 11 News at Noon. The situation at the Rapidan Dam along the Blue Earth River is getting more serious. We have crazy video into our newsroom overnight of a house collapsing into the water. It literally made me gasp when I saw it. And plus, there's new information from the state about flood recovery.
Yeah, and then here in Minneapolis, all eyes are on USA Gymnastics. We're covering the last day of practice and what you can expect during tomorrow's trials.
But first, let's go ahead and get a first check of the weather.
All righty. I mean, it is nice out there. We need this. I mean, perfect. Look at that. Look at Minneapolis shining right there. It is 77 degrees, dew points at 54. Extremely comfortable if you're going to be outside. We only had some sprinkles this morning. I think we are past the sprinkles, and we just get to enjoy a great day. You can see earlier on, there goes the clouds and the sprinkle activity. Now it's just a couple puffy cumulus clouds and sunshine. Cooler to the north. Actually, it's 60 degrees up there. You can see there's definitely some cooler air associated with this cold front, but it's not going to make it down to the metro today. 71 in Brainerd, 77 here, 77 in Rochester. Remember, that average high is at 82, so we are much, much cooler right now than yesterday at this time. But in a good way, right? We're in the middle to upper 70s. We're not in the 80s, so it's not hot out there, especially in northern Minnesota. We're going to ride in the 70s here for a while. 77 degrees to bounce around the 70s as the north winds kick in. So I think we're pretty much done warming. And then as we fall tonight, great night to actually open up the air, get some fresh air in your house, open up the windows, because it is going to be such a nice night with lows in the 50s. So we are going to track rain chances moving in late week, coming in Thursday and Friday. We'll map it out for you and my next weather.
John, thank you. Hey, this is the video that we just mentioned about a minute ago. A home along the west side of the Rapidan Dam fell into the Blue Earth River. The rushing water eroded away the house's foundation. Wow. Just what a sight there. Throughout the morning, we've watched even more of that land get swept away. Michelle Beck was at the site just hours ago checking on the latest conditions.
It's amazing to see how quickly things are changing here by the Rapidan Dam. Just from my perspective, I've seen 2 trees go down just even in the last few minutes here this morning. Around 9:30 last night, the Blue Earth County Sheriff's Office shared the update that no one in this community wanted to hear, that the home next to this business was, in their words, undercut enough that it fell into the river. And from this view now, you can see there's not even a sign that there was once a home that stood here. There was even a playground that once stood here, that also being gone. Officials say this is the second largest flood on record at the dam, all started by debris plugging up the river and forcing water to cut a new path for itself on the west side. Officials did note we are past the peak, that the water level has gone down a bit, but of course they are still concerned. And all morning long, we've watched deputies with the sheriff's office joined by crew members in neon jackets. We know they will be joined later on today by state leaders as well. So definitely a lot of damage here to survey, as the level of destruction here is great, to say the least. At the Rapidan Dam, Michelle Beck, KARE 11 News.
Michelle, thank you. And southern Minnesota suffered significant damage from the severe flooding less than 2 hours ago. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan visited Mankato to share news about the state's relief efforts. Now, Stacey, you were looking into this. What do those recovery efforts look like?
Yeah, really, she talked maybe an hour ago. She really painted a picture of what she was seeing down in Mankato. The water still high and still moving fast, with entire trees flowing down the river. Flanagan acknowledged that not only Mankato, but southern Minnesota as a whole is facing incredible damage. But the good thing, the state has the resources to respond. Now, right now you're looking at video from Waterville. During this time, Flanagan says it's super important to pay attention to local authorities and the messages they're sending out. She also mentioned that the National Guard, the Department of Public Safety, and then other state agencies, they stand ready to assist in any way they can. Also, some advice this afternoon: residents and farmers, keep your receipts. Officials will want to provide relief for your expenses during this time. Another thing, she recognizes that Minnesotans are very helpful, but you know, the water's still high, that we kind of need to wait until the water clears out to know what the damage is and to know where hands are needed most.
Don't forget about Mankato and about these communities, because the water will recede over, the coming weeks, and we want to make sure that if you are ready to help, that you're ready to help in the coming days and weeks as well. But stay tuned.
Yeah, just a reminder too, it's important that folks stay away from the water, not only when you're near floodwaters, but when you're driving too. I'll have more about road closures in 30 minutes. Alexis.
Cece, thank you. Homeowners throughout the area are dealing with varying levels of flood damage, but not all insurance plans will cover the expenses. Here's what you need to know.
I'm Gordon Severson. Insurance agents say the average Minnesotan has less flood insurance than they might realize. With most basic policies, you actually have no coverage whatsoever when it comes to water damage and flooding. Insurance agents say you can have an add-on to your policy that will protect you from things like the sewer line backing up into your basement, or your sump pump stops working and you have water coming up from the ground. They say that add-on will cost you anywhere from $50 to $150 a year. But if you want to be protected from a major flood, say your entire neighborhood is underwater, then you need to get a policy from the National Flood Insurance Program. They say a policy there will cost you anywhere from $250 to thousands of dollars a year, depending on where you live and how close your home is to the water.
Well, new at noon, 5 people are now charged in the attempted bribery scheme surrounding the recent Feeding Our Future fraud trial. The U.S. Attorney's Office says 3 of the suspects were defendants in that trial. One of them is Saeed Farah, who was acquitted in the original fraud case. He's now back in jail. Our Lou Goose is reading through the indictment, saying it includes details of suspects following a juror home. We will have more of those details tonight. Well, we have an update on a deadly shooting we've been covering for more than 24 hours. A 17-year-old was arrested in connection to the shooting on Van Dyke Street and York Avenue in St. Paul. Police say that they found a man dead inside of an SUV that crashed into a tree near Hazel Park. They arrested the teen during a traffic stop in Little Canada. Today, he's at the Ramsey County Juvenile Detention Center. We also have new details about an Olmsted County crash where deputies found a dead body in a car. And according to documents, 32-year-old Margot Lewis is facing charges in connection to a bizarre incident. Prosecutors say Lewis crashed on Interstate 90 east of Rochester on Saturday. Deputies responded to that crash and found a dead body wrapped in a bed sheet, blanket, and a tarp inside the car. They say that victim, 35-year-old Liara Sai, did not die in the crash. It's still unclear what the connection is, if any, between the 2 women. Well, we can expect to have a better look at the 2024 presidential election when President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump take the stage for the first debate of the race tomorrow night. We haven't seen either candidate in a debate since 2020. The economy remains top of mind for many voters, while single issues like the Israel and Hamas war could be deciding factors for others. This will be the first debate between a sitting president and a former president. CNN is hosting in Atlanta. There will not be a live audience. NBC will have special coverage beginning at 8 p.m. Well, we could know Trump's pick for a vice presidential running mate sooner rather than later. Trump originally planned to make the announcement at next month's Republican convention, but he now says that to sources that the decision could come as early as next week. So the top 3 contenders reportedly are North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum and Senators J.D. Vance of Ohio and Marco Rubio of Florida. They are all expected to be at tomorrow's debate. Well, today we have just 30 days left until the 2024 Summer Olympics kicks off in Paris. And for gymnasts, their big chance to win starts tomorrow right here in Minneapolis. Audrey Russo brings us a preview.
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba, ba. The Olympics are here in Minneapolis. I can't keep going with this. Anyways, the Olympic trials for the U.S. gymnastics team are happening here in Minneapolis, where hometown hero Suni Lee is going to try for another chance to represent Team USA in Paris. Going for gold means getting past a 4-day trial first. Those trials are going to be starting tomorrow at Target Center, but Minneapolis Convention Center today setting the stage for the women's practice. The men had their practice yesterday. As the women get warmed up, here's what we're watching for tomorrow. 16 women are competing to represent Team USA in Paris. On the men's side, there's 20 athletes. 5 men and 5 women will be chosen, along with 2 alternates for each team. Suni Lee and Simone Biles both posted about this on social media, talking about how they've arrived in Minneapolis, they're ready to go and excited. This is what every gymnast, gold medalist or not, has been training for since Tokyo.
It's really hard not, we tell them, don't think it's Olympic trials, but it's written everywhere, literally, so it's really hard not to. But little by little, they're getting their confidence back, and just do your normal. Your normal brought you here, so do your normal. Be good enough.
Again, the trials start tomorrow, and we'll know by Sunday whether or not hometown hero Suni Lee makes the cut once again. Back to you.
Audrey, thank you so much. And as excited as we all are to see these stars, today's practices are not open to the public. Tomorrow is the big day with the men's competition kicking things off. That is open to the public, but only to the people who have purchased tickets. And it appears there are a few tickets left.